All right, everyone, welcome back to Insights of All Trades podcast. This is Cole.
And this is Nick, and I have a special announcement today. Happy birthday to Cole.
Turn up the big 14 years old.
Yeah, we got a 14-year-old over here.
So it's my 22nd, so turn up, kind of.
Very cool. Today we have a very special guest, very first guest, which also makes it special, but that's not why he's special. We'll get into that in a little bit. But we also have an insight today that we got from Will in Madison, Wisconsin. And he says, don't chase the money. So what do you think about that, Cole?
I feel like I'm trying to embody like that don't chase the money mentality. I don't know if that's how I would articulate it, but I feel like that cliche phrase, money doesn't buy happiness, everyone will toss around, and then unfortunately you see people like, oh, money doesn't buy happiness, but like, let me, for lack of a better word or better phrase, slave away at like a 9 to 5, and like, how much am I putting into like my Roth IRA, and like such and such down the line of like getting your money right. And then it's like, oh, but money doesn't buy happiness, but we're worrying about it all the time. I don't want to get caught in that same sort of line of thinking. Not that it's not important.
Right.
Let me put that out there.
There's definitely a line. It's like you need a certain amount of money to, live comfortably, I'd say. But I definitely think I agree with don't chase the money.
Got to find that line of like have the financial freedom to do the things that you want to do, but also not be dead set on what's my bank account look like and what material things do I have.
Exactly. Yeah, very cool. So thanks to Will for that. And just anybody else out there that has any sort of insights, and just send them into us, and we'll add you in the beginning of the podcast. So today we have an awesome guest with us. His name is Garrett Baublitz. He is a state champion in both the 800-meter and 1,600 meter. He just won that maybe like 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it was that long ago, but yeah.
So it was very recent, and he's going on to compete in nationals in North Carolina this summer. So we couldn't be happier to have him on the podcast, and stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. Welcome to Insights of All Trades with Cole and Nick. This is where we talk to people we meet along our journeys through medicine, military service, sports, education, and beyond. We hope you enjoy. All right, Garrett, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. This is a pleasure. So, for those of you that don't know, Garrett just won states in both the 800 and the 1,600 run. This is in Pennsylvania. And his times I have written down here, he got 4:11:54 in the 1,600 and 1:53:96 in the 800, which is absolutely ridiculous. And he ran those two races 2 hours apart, so keep that in mind. So, Garrett, first of all, we just want to know, like, where did all this start? How'd you get into running?
Well, in 5th grade, I was really into soccer, and my friend was like, yo, they're doing track up in Lewistown. We should do that to stay in state shape. And I was like, okay, I'm game for that, something to do. I love staying active. So I kind of went up there and did pretty well at it. And after, like, a year, I started to just like it more in soccer and do better at it than I did soccer. So after that, kind of just ran with it and eventually quit soccer. Now running's all I do.
Okay, so you don't play soccer anymore?
Not at all. Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
When was your last year in soccer?
Probably 7th grade.
Dang, gave it all up to become the best in the state.
Gave it all up, man. I'd say it was a good decision now.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, I remember, so this was probably when you were in 5th or 6th grade, when I went up to Jamestown. I saw you competing in the junior Olympics. Mm-hmm. And even then, like, everyone was like, man, this guy's going to be something in high school. I remember, I think you were in 6th grade, and everyone was like, this is going to be the next state champ in Juniata High School. And here we are, so.
Yeah, that was 6th grade.
Yeah. So how long have you been training this specific year, or do you just go all year round?
It's kind of all year round, but between seasons I do cross country, indoor and outdoor. Okay. I take normally like a 3-week break between each one. This season I actually had a really late start because I was dealing with some hip tendonitis. Okay. I had 10 weeks without running this winter, and I had a very late start and kind of worried coming to the season, but all worked out all right. And I started probably April for like first. It was like my first day back to running. Wow. It worked. It worked out well. So.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Luckily.
For the hip tendonitis, was it just a bunch of rest and recovery, or was there any sort of treatment measures you had to go through?
I went to physical therapy, and that seemed to help a lot. And at first I was kind of just like, I need to rest it. I'd run and I'd be like, nah. After a couple weeks I'd run and like, nah, it's starting to hurt again. I gotta stop. But after reading about it and what they said physical therapy, it's kind of good to treat it by beating it up a little bit. And so pain was actually kind of good in the healing process. And if I just kind of pushed through it and it went away, which is kind of unexpected, but that's how it worked. So yeah. I'm grateful for that.
Were you worried at all during that that period?
Very worried. I was kind of just worried about my track season in general. I never really expected to do as well as I did this year at that point.
Have you ever dealt with any sort of injuries like that before?
Yeah, but never that long, and not like I've missed like a cross country season before in like 7th grade because of injuries, but like never anything that long or serious, and it was definitely worrisome. I
bet.
Getting very nervous.
Okay, yeah. So what's like a typical training, day or week for you?
Normally around 6 days a week, and this track season probably around 30 to 35 miles a week. That's pretty low compared to most people. I try to focus on more on my hard workouts than I do my mileage. I know some kids who focus on their mileage and get like 100 miles a week, which is just absolutely nuts. But I don't like running that much distance, and I focus more on the important stuff. But 6 days a week, probably one long run, which is probably like anywhere like 10 to 13 miles a week, which I don't really like that very much. It gets boring. One speed during track season, 1 speed day a week, which is pretty hard workout. That'll be the one that puts you on the ground. The real tough ones. And normally,
what's a speed day like?
Like, I can just give you an example. Like, we do something like 3 800 repeats, and they'd try to be like goal mile pace, which would be really tough with 5-minute recovery. And by the time, even the first one's hard, and it gets harder and harder, and by the time you're done, you're tired. Yeah, that's probably 1 day a week, only anything that hard. And the rest are kind of just easier, longer stuff, and it's not really, I don't really run too hard that often.
Gotcha. Sorry. So is it like 6 days of running you're doing, or are you cross-training with that?
Up just 6 days of running. Sometimes my 7th day I'll bike, and I like biking, and my coach is a really big biker. And I know Nick likes biking too, but it's just a nice, it's very gentle on the body. There's no stress, and we don't bike very hard when we bike, so it's just a nice thing to relax the muscles a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sounds like a lot. Do you train mostly by yourself, or are you working with teammates?
I train with my coach. He lives in Lewistown, and Jeff Miller. He's 51 years old, and he still runs with me, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He's actually world class for his age. Like, they have these conversions that he found online, and these are like legit. But like, he ran a mile the other day, and he earned world class for his age. He ran like 4:39 mile by himself, which is really impressive for 51 years old. But he's crazy. He runs with me a lot, and I was Clay Yeager too. He goes to my school.
Okay.
And, we're training buddies, and all three of us normally run together. But I don't know what I'd do without running with them, because it gets so boring. Like, we talk the whole time and everything past time.
And you and Clay Yeager are on the same 4x8 team, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. How did that go this year?
Pretty well. We won the Tri-Valley League, and we wanted to go to lower our school record, because it's kind of us team. Well, Clay's not on it, but Jeremiah's on it, Micah and Zeb Ames. And Zeb, Jeremiah, Clay, and I wanted to lower it this year, but we just didn't get a chance to. And that was a bummer. But, yeah, we won the TVO. We defended our title in that. So
that's awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of records, you broke both the records, right? And the 1600 and 800, right?
Yeah, I broke my own 1600 record, but the 800 record was really good. Steve Harris had it. He said it.
Oh yeah, I
think
remember that.
1980. No, shoot, maybe 1980.
It's been up there for a while.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't realize Steve Harris was a track star.
Oh, yeah.
But he was like he got third at the state meet, I think, but he set their state record at the meet, so he beat the state record, but he got third place.
Dang. For those that don't know, Steve Harris is now. He's getting up in his older age. I hope you're listening to this, Steve. He's into bodybuilding now. I'm not sure if he's got his pro card yet. I mean, he's wrestling like a madman.
Oh, man. I don't think I'll ever make that transition someday. You never know.
We'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, just before we started this podcast, you mentioned that you're going on to nationals in North Carolina, right?
Yes.
So, are you switching up any sort of training at all for that, or are you just sticking to your normal thing?
Keeping it about the same. I mean, my coach always says the hay is in the barn. Like, all your good workouts are in. I'm just trying to pretty much stay healthy until then. I'll get probably 2 more hard workouts in, one tomorrow and then one probably early next week before I head down. That'll be Sunday, so
Awesome.
good bit of recovery. You just want to go in pretty fresh. It's gonna be really hot, and running a mile in 100-degree temperature is pretty taxing on the body. So I want to go in pretty fresh and recover for that.
What do you do on those longer runs as far as hydration and refueling with foods or anything like that?
I drink like crazy before them, and I just we keep our water bottles like where we meet, and we'll go like 6 miles on the road, come back, get some drinks, and like maybe stretch sometimes, and then we don't really take any water or anything really with us, but I know some people do, but we probably should sometimes because you get very dehydrated sometimes. But
I think Nick runs with like a Camel pack.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do that.
It's because I don't want to, but it's just like I get so thirsty out there. Like even when I'm biking, I used to ride with my old roommate Will Manbeck at Penn State, and I would go through like 2 bottles before he'd even take a sip of his. So it's like I guess I must have something.
My stomach would get upset if I was running with that much fluid bouncing around in my stomach.
You're right. Like that's why I try to avoid it. Like the day of a meet, the hardest struggle for me, I want to be hydrated, but I also don't want my stomach to be uncomfortable during the races, and and also for me, it's just like the extra little bit of weight. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I want it every second I can get.
Definitely.
And drinking all that water, it's every little bit counts, but especially if I have too much water in my stomach, I get a side stitch and everything, and try to avoid that. But down at States, when I was done, I was so thirsty, I drank like 3.5 bottles of water, chocolate milk, and a Gatorade all with like 30 minutes after finishing my 800. I was so thirsty, I just downed everything, and then I paid the price, and my stomach hurt like crazy, but I was so thirsty, I didn't care.
That was after the mile, you said?
Oh, that was after the 800.
800, okay.
Yeah, after the mile, I was like, I can't drink too much, but I had to drink some. Yeah. 800 is not as important for being hydrated. It's pretty quick.
So I was reading an article online that after your 1600, there was a 2-hour gap in between. So you went back to your tent and just kind of recovered for a little bit? Yep. Is there anything specific you did there?
Yeah, I pretty much immediately went back to my tent. The people who run the beat, my split, they wanted to interview me, but I just asked them if I could wait until after my 800 because that could have taken a while. So I went a beeline straight to our tent, and we actually brought like a lounge chair, so I sat back, put my legs up, and relaxed. And I went for a cool down first, and then I did that, but try to be pretty quick about it and stretch and then get there. I was able to sit down for like 45 minutes before I had to warm up again, which is it was annoying, and I wasn't really ready to run, but I had to.
So which event do you like better, the 800 or 1600?
Probably the 1600. Okay. I've just been running it longer, and I think I'm a little better at it, and it's not quite as crazy as the 800 because 800 is the fastest race on the track where you run in lane 1 the whole race, and fighting for that spot in the inside lane can sometimes be crazy. Like this year at state meet, one of my good friends from Indiana, he got tripped. He was favorite to win the 800 in AAA. He got actually shoved over in the prelims, fell, and got up, but he couldn't get high enough place to move on to the final. So 800 is a very crazy race. A lot of contact, a lot of shoving, pushing, tripping, but just how it is. And no one really intentionally does it; just happens out there. Everyone wants the inside lane, and everyone wants to win. But it's 1600. You don't have that as much, and it's just a little. You have more time. 800. If you get behind too much, it's a lot to catch up because it's a pretty fast race. 1600, you have several laps to really strategize, and it's a lot more strategic than the 800.
So during your regular season of track, you were doing the 800. 4x8, 1600. Was there a fourth event you were doing?
I did the 3200 a lot of the meets, but I didn't really do that.
That's a lot of running. Yeah.
It gets a lot, but yeah, I don't really. I wouldn't do that at like a huge meet where I was going all out in every single one. That'd just be crazy. I'd just be asking for an injury. But I did that a lot of TVL meets, and like sometimes like Clay Yeager, he got second in TVL, so him and I like sometimes I'd switch and let him win the 1600, and then we were pretty dominant as far as the TVL went, so. We were able to sometimes not go as hard in those meets. We had to run 4 events because we tried to go 1-2 in every event, and it gets a lot after a while. But we trained pretty well, and we were smart about it. We didn't really kill every race. So
I saw your times in the paper pretty consistently. You guys were getting first and second. I mean, obviously with winning states, like there's no competition against you, but yeah, that was pretty impressive to see that across the whole season. Yeah,
we that was our goal. We tried to do a TVL meet, but we got first and second in the 1600, first and second in the 800, then we got first and third in the 3200, and Yeah, by the time he got to 3200, he was just pretty tired, but he had a great effort.
Oh, yeah.
But that's still phenomenal. He did as well as he did. And he's a crazy kid. Like, oh my word. He puts it all out there. He's awesome.
And you both of you juniors in high school?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you got one more year.
One more year.
So I guess let's first talk about the rest of this year. What are you expecting out of nationals? Any big hopes?
I mean, I'd love to say I'd love to win it. I mean,
yeah,
obviously.
Of course, yeah.
And not that I'm the best in the nation, like not even really that close. Probably about 5 seconds off. But like a lot of the seniors who run those good times, they're kind of just ready to be done with high school, and they already graduated, and they're not going to go down. And looking at past results, they run the mile down there, which is 9 meters farther, so like a little bit over a second extra. And like a lot of years, like a 4:10 to 4:12 will win it. So my 4:11's kind of in that range.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to tactical race, you never know. But I'd really just like to come out with a medal, which is top 6. I'd be ecstatic with that.
That would be awesome.
That'd be the All-American title, and I'd be hyped with that. I'd be speechless.
Especially as a junior, yeah.
So are you also going to do 1600 and 800 there at nationals?
No, just the one event.
Gotcha.
My actually 800 time didn't make it the championship event. It was like, well, it was 153 flat and didn't quite make it. So I think my 1600 is my better event too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exciting, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great high school runners down there who like you see in like Sports Illustrated running. Like I remember last year Caitlin too. He ran like a 4:33 mile as a girl, which is just ridiculous. She broke the national record by like 5 seconds. Whew. Like by herself in the heat. Like,
is she a senior this year now?
She's a junior this year.
Okay,
Same grade as me.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy. But yeah, it's like watching people like her run there. It'll just be a cool meet to be at. Like, even if I don't run as well as I want to, it's just a great experience to get out. And they have these, it's New Balance Nationals. New Balance sponsors it. So they have emerging elite events, which are like a little bit easier to get into. And they're not as like, elite. And they give you backpacks. And emerging elite backpacks are kind of smaller, and I've done the freshman races there before, and they're considered emerging elite. So I have like 2 little backpacks from indoor and outdoor. But now that I'm in the championship, I'm getting the big backpack, and which that sounds stupid, but like
that's awesome though.
I'm pretty excited about it. It's like $100-some backpack, and every athlete gets one, which is pretty cool. And there's always a big hype about releasing the design of the bags, and they haven't released them yet, but pretty excited to see what they look like.
And there's probably only a handful of people that get that have those in the nation. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty elite bag to have and one of a kind.
Yeah,
excited for that.
Definitely.
So, shifting the page just a little bit, this is what I'm most curious about hearing from you. What's your mental self-talk look like during a race?
Just honestly, one foot in front of the other. Like a lot of times, this sounds dumb, but I'll kind of do math of like what % I am through the race, which is really dumb. But like I'm counting every meter of the race, just trying to get myself through it. And a lot of times, like 750 meters to go, which is just kind of really stupid sounding, but it's what I do, and I think that helps me honestly. And just a lot of times I just try and think about like just stupid stuff to get my mind off of it, get my mind off the pain, and I just try and tell myself keep going and you got it, and you're just give myself some confidence, because running is a lot of confidence. It's like wrestling. It's if you go into a race thinking you're not going to do well, you're not going to do well. If you think that this kid's going to beat you, he's probably going to beat you. So you need to go into it thinking that, not with cockiness, but the confidence in yourself and your training. And a lot of times I'm not reminding myself of that. Thinking of good workouts I've done and just counting down the seconds until it's over, because I love running, but out there racing, it's pretty painful, and it's not an enjoyable experience really at all. Like you guys know, you do sports, you've done sports like that. It's pretty painful and miserable while you're doing it, but when you cross that finish line, it's the best feeling in the world. So
now, have you always like talked to yourself like that, or has it been like when you first started out, was it any different, or have you always had that confidence? And
I've always kind of tried to be like that. When I first started, I didn't have near much confidence. When I first started in like 5th grade, I used to get so nervous, I'd be gagging and stuff. Like I was just a mess. Like I couldn't even talk to people, but through the years, I've gotten a lot better with handling that, and just more confidence in myself, and just enjoying it more too. Like I used to kind of dread races. Like the week of a race, I'd be so nervous to the race. Couldn't even really enjoy it that much. But now I'm able to have an appreciation for it and go into it and actually enjoy it, somewhat.
Yeah. Do you get nervous before races still, or?
Yeah, but it's not as much. Like actually, states, I wasn't not nervous. I was nervous, but not as nervous as I expected.
It's always good to have a little bit of nerves, though, because you kind of keeps you on top of your game.
I feel like it reminds you that you care about whatever it is you're competing within.
Yeah, definitely. The adrenaline helps running, too. Like, if I do a workout in practice, and I'm supposed to do, like, race pace 400s or, like, 800s, it's like, man, I can never hold that for a race, but the adrenaline and the nerves get you through it during a race. But yeah, the nerves weren't that bad this year, which I was pretty kind of pleased with, because that just lets me know that I'm handling a race better mentally than I was before, which is pretty good. And I think being too nervous can sometimes psych yourself out. And
for sure.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how I felt.
Nice. Yeah, so I think we're kind of jumping all over the place. I guess I kind of want to hear a little bit more about the future. So you got this nationals coming up. What's your hope for after high school? So you got a whole another year, but are you thinking, going to professional stuff? Are you thinking college? Are you thinking,
Definitely college. I mean, professional would be the dream someday, because, get the paid to run. That's just doesn't get much better than that. But yeah, definitely going college. I've been in contact with a few colleges, not too many. Penn State, Cornell, West Point, and University of Pennsylvania. I've got a lot of letters and stuff, but I really need to start focusing on that more, because I've kind of not neglected it, but such a big decision. I just feel like I'm a junior. I don't need to worry about this yet. But it's definitely time to start worrying about it now, and hopefully I'm going to take a lot of visits this summer. I was at West Point 3 Fridays ago.
Oh, wow.
I liked it there. It's a really nice school. The coach is awesome. I met some of the runners. They're cool. But, yeah, it's a lot to think about. I definitely want to visit a bunch more schools this summer. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to have an opinion about a school without seeing it or meeting the coaches or anything. So, yeah. The Penn State coach actually just texted me last night. He actually said he's going to come to my house, which is kind of weird. I don't know what that's going to be like. I don't know. But he said he wants to meet my family and I,
which pretty cool though.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's really cool. Looking forward to that. But
who are the powerhouses in college? Like the equivalent of Alabama to football, Penn State to wrestling?
It's not as Alabama and Clemson are the two powerhouses every year. Track, it's kind of, Oregon's kind of the powerhouse in track, but not every year. They used to be in cross country, but now they're not near as good as it just kind of switches around. But in Pennsylvania, Penn State's the powerhouse. They have 7 guys under 347 for 1500, which is absolute. That's running. They have 7 guys who are 403 or 404 for the mile, which is I'm not even close to. So for me to get to a school like that, I'd just be towards the back. I don't know if I'd really like that or not. It'd make me better, but I probably wouldn't get the care or anything or the interest in myself.
Well, you still do have another year too in high school, and then 4 years of college is a long time too to develop.
Yeah, that's the plan. And Division I schools, they only get 12.6 scholarships to give out for track. So for all of their events, 12.6 scholarships is not many. That's 12.6 full rides. So getting a full ride is pretty much impossible. I know Josh Hoey, who set the national indoor record in 800, 147. He went to Oregon, Oregon University, the powerhouse of the country, arguably, and he didn't even get a full ride. Wow. So for him, national record in 800 did not even. They said Cody got a partial scholarship. What does it take to get a full ride?
Really.
Oh my word, he's best in the country, best ever in the 800 almost, and doesn't even get a full ride. So it's a lot to think about, and I definitely need to do a lot more research and talk to a lot more coaches and visit some more schools before.
Yeah. That's crazy though.
Yeah,
they only have that many scholarships.
Yeah, 12.6. It's not very much, and that's for all the throws, jumps.
Yeah.
Everything.
Because track is a huge team compared to some of these other sports. Like soccer or something like that.
And I'd be running cross country too, but the cross country scholarships go for football, so
Oh, okay.
I'd be recruited as a track.
Okay.
Which is, yeah.
What are you more interested in, either one or
track?
Track. Okay.
Cross country, I do it because it's good for me to do and it keeps me in shape, and every track runner does. So I kind of feel like I have to. And I like it, but it's just 3.1 miles. It's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and it's good for me to do, and it gets me in better shape and it helps my track. So I know I should do it.
That's cool, dude. In terms of majors or anything like that, career interests, do you have any ideas being tossed around in your head?
Probably something in the medical field, like Nick.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I not really sure yet, but I know I want to do something like that probably. So that could change though easily. Like that's not a for sure thing.
Yeah.
If I go to college and take a course in something and really interested in that, I could easily change my mind. It's just that's what I could see myself being someday. So who knows? It's kind of up in the air.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've, with all these huge meets you've been at, I'm sure you've met some pretty cool people. Is there anybody that really stands out to you?
Like people I've competed against, or like
competing against, or even coaching staff, or anything like that. That have some pretty big tips you maybe have learned to work into your routine or anything like that.
Well, I won. This isn't really. He didn't give me tips, but one of the meets I was at in 8th grade, it was nationals in Houston, and it was the youth nationals, junior Olympics. It's not as hard. If I'm being honest, it's not as hard as high school. Not as many people do it. A lot of people, don't really run track until high school, but I was fortunate enough to go there down in Houston. It was a great time. But Carl Lewis was there, and he's awesome, and he's the most decorated track athlete in U.S. history.
Wow.
And yeah, he did a 100, 200 and long jump, and he is I forget how many goals he has, but he's a lot for goals for track. But it was just awesome to see him. And I don't think I even talked to him, but maybe shook his hand and saw him from a distance. But that was really cool. But yeah, track has got me closer, close to a lot of people, a lot of Olympians. And Liam Manzano, he got silver in 1500 Olympics. At one of our meets, he gave out all the medals, which was really cool.
Nice. Yeah.
And he's a cool guy. He's 5'3", I think. But yeah, he's an awesome runner. He's a really friendly guy. And just a lot of the people running you meet too are just, even though you're competing against the kids you're running against, you're still just great friends with them. It's the least aggressive and, least harsh sport. Not harsh, but you're never going to find a kid that's going to be purposely swearing at you or you don't have that out running. Everyone's just super friendly. And
it does seem like a pretty nice culture.
Yeah, everyone's super friendly, and the coaches, you beat their athlete, they'll be great race, you're awesome, man, keep up the good work, and you never get any of that, the negativeness with soccer. I'd be out there playing, and even when I was playing 6th grade, you'd have kids grabbing your uniform, just swearing at you, calling your names. You don't get that in running at all, which I love, and a lot of the people you meet are just awesome, all the athletes, coaches, and I've met so many friends running throughout the years, and it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I think it's so unreal actually how encouraging it is. I wasn't a track athlete in high school, but I ran a marathon my freshman year of college, and just throughout the marathon while competing, if competing is even a good word, everyone that's either you're passing or are passing you are dude, you're doing great, keep your head up, you're almost there. And to parallel that with college wrestling or even high school wrestling, if you know who you're going to wrestle, you're both pacing behind your team, staring down the other guy, trying not to break eye contact because somehow you've conjured up the idea that you're not mentally tough if you aren't if you're looking away from him, crazy stuff like that. And you would never, at least in my mind, go up afterwards and be like, man, you're doing great, how's your season going, dude? Unless you were to have wrestled at a club or something. I like that running culture. They aren't I'd say across the board, not trying to tear other runners down and just building them up. I think that's a fun thing to be around.
Yeah, that's how it is. At the state meet, there's a kid there, Jonah Powell. He's going to the Air Force Academy. He's a really nice kid, great runner. He won states indoor in the mile, which that's actually all divisions combined. So he was the best in the state indoor. Really good runner. I was really scared of him going to the states, if I'm being honest. But after we crossed the finish line, he was awesome race, man. You're a beast. And he said that 5 seconds after the race is over. No other sport you get that. Like you said, your marathon, people just cheering you on like crazy. There's tons of people I know that races that just always just cheering you on, even if they know you're not. Even if you're going against their kid, they're gonna be cheering you on.
Yeah.
And I actually did a 5K past Friday, down in Westchester. That was just a open track meet, just unattached. I didn't do it with the high school, but I was running a 5K there. I haven't ran a 5K in a while. 12 and a half laps on the track is not fun at all. Yeah, I don't recommend it. But
you probably still smashed it. What was your time at the 5K?
15:45 I ran.
yeah, just hanging out at the 5K for a day, no big deal.
I ran my first mile was a little fast. I think I went 4:42.
Whoa.
And then after that, I went through 9:52 for 3,200, and then kind of went downhill. But there's just tons of people there. Just, come on, Garrett, you got this, keep it up, and that really helps. And it's just, I love the running community. It really helps.
Yeah. What was the scene like at States? Did you have a bunch of fans there?
Yeah, a good bit of people from school came, and throughout the years, I've been running high school now for 3 years, and I've been in a lot of big meets. Like, that's my third state meet. I've just met a ton of people, and I knew a large amount of people to state meet, and every turn I could just hear people yelling my name, which really helps.
Yeah.
And my parents were there, a lot of kids from Juniata, and my uncle was there, and some of my family was there. It's really great to have them there screaming for me, and that every little bit helps.
And you probably heard so the track coach Kim Hart, she's pretty vocal, and you can definitely hear her like the whole way across the track.
Oh yeah, she was way up in the stands, and I could hear her. Like she stands out. Yeah, I imagine she was so excited. Oh my word.
Yeah.
She gets very into it, which is great. I love Kim. She's awesome. But yeah, she is. You could hear her.
Yeah, that's how actually how I found out that you won states was I saw her Facebook post. And you can tell she was loving it. I mean, why wouldn't she?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she is a really great coach. So another thing, we've been kind of talking about your training a little bit. Another big thing that I see, or that I think kind of goes into running, maybe not, is diet. So what do you do? Like, what kind of stuff do you eat?
I'm not really on a specific set diet, but
Okay.
I just try and eat healthy. I mean, that's kind of really just general, but I try not to eat too much, eat healthy. Try not to eat too late at night because I know that's not very good to do. And I try and stay away from soda and all the bad foods, and try to eat salads a good bit. And we try to have a salad before every meal, which helps.
Okay.
And I love salads too, so I don't really mind. But I try and just keep it healthy. There's no set diet, but it could be a little better. Sometimes I get to like a party or something, and like there's a bunch of brownies and cookies. I can't really help myself there, but I'd say I do pretty good for most kids my age. But it could be a lot better, and just try and be smart. Yeah.
As far as like preparing for a race, do you do any sort of like pre-race
like
dieting?
carb loading,
Yeah, like
anything
carb
like
loading,
that?
or...
The night before every race, I'll eat salmon and mashed potatoes and vegetables every race, and it's just been that way for years. And I don't know what it is, but it's just good luck, I guess. But
Yeah.
I mean, salmon's a good protein. It digests quickly compared to like chickens and other meats. So, and I just like it, and it's just kind of been a good luck thing. I couldn't imagine running a race without eating that, if I'm being honest. And my mom was complaining. She's like, man, I had to cook it for you Thursday and Friday night at States. Yeah, she doesn't mind. She's a great mom. But that's the pre-race meal. I eat it every race. And
How about any other sort of like pre-race rituals? Maybe not necessarily meals, but anything you do specifically? Or?
Nothing really too much. I'm kind of superstitious. So, like, we're always looking at like my race bib number and like trying to pick out like lucky numbers out of it. But that's kind of the only really thing that we do. And I try and just go to bed pretty early the night before a race and relax a lot. I always sit on the couch, put my legs up, and relax. It's really important, especially the Friday night before the state finals on Saturday, because I was already kind of feel the tiredness in my legs a little bit going into Saturday. So it's really important to recover. And I just watched TV for like 3 hours that night.
Yeah.
Stretched a little bit and stuff and rolled. But yeah, I try to just, really stay relaxed the night before a race. Don't get too hyped up and keep my legs fresh and stretch and roll a lot.
Yeah. What's your sleep schedule look like on a typical week?
I try to get a pretty decent amount, but I get at least 8 hours every night or
That's
more.
good. Yeah.
So some nights maybe 9, but that's not too often. But a lot of runners say sleep is very important, and I'm not willing to test that and see if I can go without it. But I try to get 8 hours, and I feel pretty good in 8 hours. I've never fallen asleep during the day or anything, and I never feel like I need to take a nap during the day. So I think that's a good number for me, 8 to aim for. Some nights a little less, I guess, but I'm fine. I think I'm fine when I'm getting at least.
Yeah, I've listened to some podcasts and seen some things. I don't know if it's exactly true or not, but I heard one time that Usain Bolt, before one of his world records, took like a nap and woke up maybe like 30 minutes before, and then
I've heard
took
the
off
same
at
thing.
I could probably see that. Like, he seems like it doesn't seem like he gets nervous at all. It just seems like another day of practice for him. And yeah, I could believe he's just such a freak.
Yeah.
He's the best in the world ever, but he's just such an athletic freak that he could probably do that. Like, he probably doesn't have to try. Like, he doesn't try a lot of his races, and he'd still win. I could believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't personally do that at all. I'd run terrible, but.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I don't know if I had like an event or something coming up. I don't know if I'd be able to fall asleep. I'd be pretty nervous and jittery thinking about it.
Oh my word! Yeah, like no, there's no way.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times, just talking about like someone in our area, the Bites family, which are like, if you're from Central PA and listening to this, you know all about the Bites family. Of like, Zach Bites was a state champ, Seth Bites is like, second place. Every time we're at any wrestling tournament, there could be like, I don't know, a half an hour break in between matches. They'd be like face first in the mat sleeping or somewhere falling asleep. I don't know how like high level athletes, or any athlete for that matter, regardless of the level, can just get up and go. I'm so like anxious about competing, like no matter what level it is.
Yeah,
at least to some extent. Like I can't stop thinking about the next match and wanting to like, start warming up, which is, for me, I'm usually leaning towards the edge of probably warming up too much, let alone resting too much and not being ready. I can't imagine.
And even like waking up from that nap, I feel like I'd be kind of groggy and stuff.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I could never do that, but it takes me a couple hours even just get awake from, sleeping, and I can't even imagine that. That's surprising.
Do you ever like? Do you ever just like get up in the morning and run right away, or do you usually run later in the day?
It just depends. A lot of the weekdays I normally run after school. I mean, I ran before school a couple times. I absolutely couldn't after school, but I don't really like the mornings that much. And for me to get up at like 5 a.m. to run, I don't really like that. But a lot of mornings, a lot of weekends we'll do morning workouts. And I don't really like morning workouts as much. I feel like I run better as the day goes on. Just, I'm pretty stiff in the morning. I'm really inflexible. I can't touch my toes. So, like, which is a lot of people will find hard to believe. But as the day goes on, I just feel like I get looser and more mentally ready even to just run. And I don't really like morning running that much, but a lot of my races are morning, so I just have to put up with it. But
can't touch your toes, dude. That's crazy.
I'm like this far off.
Not doing any like stretching or yoga or anything.
Tons, yeah.
Really?
I just can't get it.
It used harder.
It used to be like right here to like my knee, but I stretch.
That's crazy.
Like probably from like January to, kind of track season kind of messes up a little, but I stretch like 40 minutes a day every single day.
Yeah, I guess with the whole hip thing, you would have had to have been.
Yeah, but it just, I don't know what it is. It's lousy. I'm bad. I just can't help it. I stretch a lot too, and I work so much on my hamstrings. I still stretch them every night for like 5-10 minutes, but it just doesn't get better.
Do you do any sort of weightlifting at all, or is it all just running?
I more like calisthenics, like push-ups, and some pull-ups, and planks. But I've never gone to a gym really, other than just messing around with my buddies. But like, I've never gone to a gym and just like bench pressed or anything like that. I don't. A lot of runners don't really do that. Like some of them do, but if you see any runner weightlifting, it will just be very, very low weight, tons of reps. And at that point, I might as well just use my body weight and just do push-ups and everything. Like, it's just easier and saves time. But we try to do strength 3 days a week, and a lot of our strength is hip strength and preventative strength for injury. So it's kind of the boring strength, it's not really the glamour muscles. You can't see the results like your glute getting stronger, but
you get to see this 411 times. So.
Yeah, that's the bonus there.
It's a give and take.
Yeah, it's boring, and coaches like, we're doing strength, where it was like, oh my word, like, because like it's not even that really hard. I mean, it's just kind of, okay, we're gonna do dog peas now, or just like raise your leg, and it's just pretty boring stuff, but it definitely helps. And 3 days a week we do it, and I'd probably be injured a lot more if I didn't do that stuff.
So as far as in the wintertime and things like that, so you're competing in indoor track, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't get to do that this year because of my hip tendonitis, but typically indoor track, which isn't really near as serious. Like I won't really train super hard for indoor track. It's just kind of a get you ready for outdoor type thing, and I'll do like, I know my freshman year I actually was able to do it. I had like only 3 meets. And
where do you compete at for those?
Penn State actually has like the only bank track in the indoor bank track in the state, which is pretty nice. And they have the Kevin Dare invite there, which is kind of hard to get into since I don't have a school. But I've always been able to get into it because my times are good enough. And they have these kind of like miniature invites there. They just call them Meet 1 and Meet 2, which is kind of weird. But I'll typically go there, and those are like the only 3 meets I really do indoor. Like my freshman year, I went to like Susquehanna once and Lehigh once, but their tracks are flat, and a 200-meter indoor track, like the turns and like it's just not very good for your body running those sharp turns, not banked, and it's a lot of stress on the ankles. I try to avoid that. So all my indoor races pretty much anymore are on bank tracks, which are pretty nice. Like they're pretty comparable to an outdoor track as far as times go and speed, and I like them, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
But
so I'm pretty curious. Cole and I have kind of talked a little bit back and forth on what kind of shoes for wearing for, marathons or just running in general. What kind of stuff do you wear? And do you ever feel any sort of like calf pains or anything like that from shoes?
Well, I have a lot of different shoes. I'm kind of a shoe junkie, but I always used to be an Asics guy, and I just loved the Asics. Always wore Asics, and this has changed now, but we always used to just bash Nike, just be like, oh yeah, Nike, like they're trash, they don't hold up. But now anymore, I kind of run in Nikes now, which is kind of surprising to me at first, but like I wear the Nike Epic Reacts, and like I love those shoes. They feel great, and they're pretty light. And through the years, I've noticed I don't really need as much of a heavier shoe as anyone else.
Okay.
So like I can get by like the Nike Epic Reacts. They're pretty minimalist shoes. They're not that, but they're pretty light and not as supportive. I have neutral foot, so I don't really need a supportive shoe at all. But they're a great shoe. They're light, and I feel great in them. And pretty much the Nikes, New Balance, Asics, and Hoka. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Hoka One. But they're kind of new in the shoe world. But they're famous for like their thick soles.
Okay.
They have these thick soles, and like they kind of look like clown shoes. But I've ran those in the past. Kind of getting out of them now. But they're like you put them on, I feel like walking on wrestling mats. Like it's kind of what they're like. And like I'd like for you guys to try them on. I wish I had a pair. But
so I've been wearing these like what they call like minimalist or barefoot shoes.
And this is for road work, by the way.
For running on the road. And so I'm slowly kind of getting out of those because they've been kind of tearing up my calves because you don't have any sort of heel on them. It's just like you're running barefoot. I was kind of curious to see if you'd ever tried anything like that.
No.
But I'm guessing probably not because it's kind of a little wacko.
Especially not on the track.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a lot of what you read, like the Kenyans and stuff who are like the best in the world, a lot of times they just wear, like when they do those super, super long runs. I read this book, Born to Run. If you've ever read that book.
Christopher McDougall, right?
Yep,
yeah.
That's a pretty good book. And like he writes all about how the human body's made to run. And he almost preaches barefoot running, which is pretty crazy. Actually, I remember one of the guys in his book, he went from a size 12 shoe to a 9.5. Because he strengthened muscle of his foot. He developed an arch, and his foot just got that much smaller. But like, which I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah.
But like, maybe a minimalist shoe isn't that bad of an idea if you're, my running form's pretty crappy, and my body probably wouldn't handle it too well.
I find that hard to believe.
It kind of is, but like, a lot of the Kenyans, they run like 100 miles, like their races they do, and a lot of them wear like homemade leather sandals. Like that's not even a joke. Like the bottoms are like wore through, and they just.
That's crazy.
But, maybe minimalist is the way to go, but I don't think I can handle that. But maybe if that's what
it's pretty rough on the calves.
Yeah, I bet. I'm afraid to try anything minimalist, but only because we're doing road stuff and Nick is wild. I've been using Brooks. I don't know what you use.
I have a pair of Brooks too. I pretty much have a pair of every type of running shoes. I have a pair of Brooks I run in frequently. The Brooks Launch. I have New Balance. I don't know the names of those. They're kind of confusing to remember. I have some Asics I still run in. My Nike are probably my main now. And
even for the roads or just on the track?
Just the roads and the track. I have a pair of Asics trail shoes I wear on a cinder track because cinder track's not really like a road. Like you almost need a trail shoe if you want to run fast. And I wear it for all of our meets because I don't really want to wear my spikes. Wear those down, but I pretty much will wear any shoe, but. I think those Nike shoes are definitely my favorite now. I just bought another pair of them. I already have one. I bought the same pair. Just gotta like them so much, but they're pretty nice and recommend them definitely.
So running on those cinder tracks like at Juniata High School, I mean that's rough, right? Have you ever gotten like shin splints or anything out of that?
I don't think shin splints, but this season my Achilles were bugging me a ton, and it's kind of just my right one. A lot of my teammates said the same thing, and this is kind of just our theory, but it's just all those our track like. I think it might have even been worse since you've got out there, but the turns are so sharp. And
there's like ruts in them.
Yeah, there's ruts. And we're not allowed to really leave school property on our runs either. So like we don't run like sometimes we do if our coach like gets special permission, but like a lot of times we're doing like 6 miles just on like school property in like a mile loop.
Jeez.
And like that gets very boring.
Around the high school.
Yeah, around the high school.
Holy cow.
And it's very ruddy and just all that, uneven landing and all center track to sharp turns. I think that really bugged my Achilles this year, and they're still kind of sore now. The beginning of the season they were bad, and I think that's because I just started from nothing and up my mileage pretty quick. But our track is terrible. Like I tell other people at meets that we have a 4-lane center track, and they're like, what?
They're like, what?
Yeah, what are you kidding? No,
You guys
you're
are in
lying.
the 70s.
And, yeah, and I'll tell colleges that too, and they're like, really? Like they can't believe it. Like no one can believe that. And then when I say in our league, there's only one synthetic track, they're like, what league? Like, what they find it hard to believe. No one ever believes me, but yeah, it's crazy. But I think a lot of kids in our team would do better, especially our hurdlers, like because just practicing on synthetic track would be so much so
like
beneficial.
And
yeah, like getting the steps down for hurdles and stuff. Like Anna Straub, she's a great hurdler on our team, but she's getting a lot better each year, and I think if we had a synthetic track, she could have been making it to states this year.
Yeah.
But that's just nothing you can do about that. But it's unfortunate. But I hate our track. I tell everyone that. I'm not afraid to admit it, but it's terrible, and I think it injured us all this year, for being honest.
Yeah, I bet, man.
Yeah.
But it's not a great track.
No, I really don't like it at all. But you just gotta make the most of what you got.
So, like, you say you're working out 6 days a week or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about if it's like raining, pouring down rain, or it's snowing in the middle of the winter or something? Are you running indoors, or do you go out in the weather?
We'll run in rain if it's not thundering and lightning, and it's pretty nice. It cools you off. Like if it's 95 degrees outside, like I'm hoping it rains. Just, I don't really mind getting wet and sloppy, but if it's thundering or lightning, I'll run on the treadmill. And sometimes if I just want to get a quick run in and it's raining, I don't really feel like going out and getting soaked. And running around my house, I don't really like to do a lot because there's a lot of hills and a lot of turns and cars. So I'd say probably like once a week I'm on the treadmill, which I don't really like at all, but it gets really boring. But it's it's quick and it's easy, and it beats going outside sometimes. But in the winter, like we love running in the snow. Like I actually have this pair of shoes. They're called Solomon Snowcross, and they go up to your ankle. They're like high tops, but they zipper and they have little spikes in the bottom. They're ready for running in the snow.
Oh wow!
They're awesome.
That's
and
cool.
they're really nice, and like we love running in the snow. Like we always are like hoping for snow so we go running in it. This year,
hoping it doesn't snow or like workouts canceled if I was gonna do anything outside. It's like
we love
migrate indoors.
We love going to like the trails and not like the mountain bike trails, but like Licking Creek, like out in the woods and running in the snow there. Like it's just so awesome. Like nothing too deep, but if you get like 3-4 inches, like that's just fun. It's slow, but you just keep that in mind and don't run as fast as normal. And it's just really pretty to run out in the snow. We love it.
Absolutely.
So something that Nick and I were just trying to get out of everyone that we had on here is what insights you would have for other people trying to kind of pursue a similar path as you. So if I was, say, in 9th grade, I'm just getting in a track, and I came up to you and was like, Garrett, I want to be just like you, dude. I want to win, X amount of gold medals. Like, what would you tell them that you didn't know as like a 9th grader or something like that?
I just tell them that it takes time. Like you're not gonna, join the track team, first meet, run school record. It's just impossible. It's like not only does it take a long duration of the season to get good, but it takes several years. Like each season, I'm slightly stronger, and it's not just because, not all thanks to age. It's just the fact that my body's so used to running, and you're constantly just getting better. Like, and it just takes a lot of years. Like I've gotten to where I am because I've been running for several years, and my body's gotten more efficient at it. And your body's always helping itself out, but it just takes time and hard work. And even like there's gonna be down spots where I've had some years myself that like I didn't really do too hot in and didn't PR or anything, but it's always worth it when you get that one good race and drop a great time, and just to stay with it. And even if things look like they're going bad, they'll turn around. Stay strong.
That's awesome. Yeah. So how hard is it juggling, school with the running?
I mean, it's not too bad, honestly.
Okay.
Like I take pretty hard classes, but I don't know if like my older siblings were exaggerating, but I don't really have much homework. And practice, like I get home a lot of times at like, just depending on the workout, sometimes like 5:30, sometimes like 6:37. But like I don't really have too much homework. I know it's gonna change next year. Like taking AP Lit next year, that's gonna change. Yeah. But like this year, it hasn't been too bad. And like everyone always makes it out like it's a lot worse. And like you guys have way rougher than I do in college. Like oh my word, like not even a comparison. But it's not too bad. I still have some time to hang out with friends and play video games. Be a normal kid. It doesn't consume my life. And
do you have other hobbies? So you mentioned video games and stuff. Do you have other hobbies or, like Cole would say, obsessions, things that you just really love to do?
I like biking, too, but that's kind of lumped in with running. It's kind of just cool, an exercise, but other than that, not really too much. But I just like hanging out with my friends and just being a boy, just goofing off and having fun.
So I know you have a pool at your house. Have you done much swimming?
I hate swimming. I like swimming for recreation, but like if you tell me to swim 20 laps, like I do terrible. Like I'm a lifeguard, which that sounds bad to say. Like I hate swimming, but like I can swim, long as the Mifflintown pool to get in and get a kid and get out. But like I had to do lifeguard recertifications like probably a month ago, and it has 12 laps of the YMCA pool. I was like, I got this, like I can run 10 miles and not be tired. I get down the first lap, say, oh, I'm okay. And then I just, I just die. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the different breathing patterns, but
something.
I will never be a good swimmer at all.
So no thoughts of triathlons or anything?
Maybe duathlon, but not a triathlon. My body I don't know what it is. I just think too much. If I'm being honest, I just can't swim well at all. Like my form is okay, but I don't know. I'm just really bad swimming shape, I guess. But I tried to swim a little bit during the summer. I just can't bring myself to do it very much. It's just a different pain than running. I just can't stand it, if I'm being honest. I hate it.
But you like biking. So how long have you been into that, biking?
But not very long. My coach is very into biking. He's actually world champion in duathlon for his age group.
Wow.
30 to 40. I was like, or no, maybe 40 to 50. But he's very good. Like, he's actually probably a better biker than he's a runner. And he's still running like sub 16 for 5K, over 50 years old, which is pretty wild. But we would go bike rides. He's like, come on, Gary. He's not trying. I'm like, they're dead. But he kind of was just like, I think it'd be a good idea for you to get a bike and start going on bike rides with me some. I've had a bike in the past, but like I always just had a really crappy Schwinn bike. Like, he's like, you should get a good bike, start getting more into it. So I think like 2 years ago, I got a Specialized bike.
Nice.
A
What's
mountain
the
bike.
model?
Shoot. Might be a rock hopper.
Okay, that's cool.
Maybe. Maybe a rock veil. But I like it. It's pretty nice. It's bright orange. It looks pretty cool. But I just like going out in them.
Do you do much trail riding? Or is it mostly on the road?
It's mostly on the road. Back like in Creek, we bike a lot. And I love going to Racetown up there. Have you ever been on the trail?
Yeah, those are awesome.
I love going up there. Like my friends and I went up there and we got lost because we were expecting just to go like 2 miles, just check them out. I was like, let's just keep going. So we ended up getting like 20-some miles. We got lost. Yeah. My hands are bleeding because I didn't have gloves or anything. But that was a lot of fun. But I just like it. It's kind of similar to running. And
it's different. It's like the same muscles, but it feels different.
It's a lot more.
I guess it's more
time
like,
to the body.
Yeah.
But in some ways it isn't. Like your legs burning so bad. But it's a lot of fun, and I just like doing it. My coach kind of pushed me to do that, and I think it's a great thing to do with running. Cross training, it strengthens muscles you don't use when you run, and vice versa.
Yeah. It's not nearly as hard on the joints either.
That's true.
Yeah, true. Like running gets very rough on the knees, and like my coach is at the point now. He's been running for so long that he thinks he's probably going to give up running soon, but he'll be able to bike probably until he's very old. So he'll do that, and he's diehard about the sport. But he's just at the point that his body has just had so many miles. His knees are just. He always has both his knees wrapped up. He has runner's knee and like all the knee problems. But
well, we got some pretty cool biking trails over here if you ever want to check them out. Yeah.
I might. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I guess we'll probably try and wrap this up. We've been going for a little while. Do you want to tell people like where they can find you online, maybe Instagram or something like that?
My Instagram name's just Garrett Baublitz, no spaces or anything. And I don't really use Twitter. I have a Twitter, I guess. Same thing, Garrett Baublitz, but I'm never really on. I just got to see when school's canceled.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, the superintendent would post if school's canceled. And
I guess we got a new one of those now, huh?
Yeah, I actually don't know. I heard we had one for a day, and then he resigned. So we had, he was superintendent for a day, and then he filed bankruptcy and resigned.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Something's going on.
Like, where did they find these people?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
But that's pretty much all I use. Instagram. I have Facebook, but I don't really use that either. But Instagram's my main thing. I'm mostly just on that just to see memes and follow like sports and everything. just to see everything that's going on. But
sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right.
Thanks, dude. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our first episode with a guest on the Insights of All Trades podcast. Please find us online on YouTube and Facebook at Insights of All Trades podcast. Our Instagram handle is Insights of All Trades, and our Twitter handle is IOAT podcast. If you just want to listen to the audio, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, see you later.